Hello, ONUS community. I'm Amila, Community Manager at ONUS. We are back with a very special talk show session today. ONUS is stepping into the new phase goal with a long-term orientation, becoming a global financial hub. So today we will be sharing how we are approaching these journeys toward 2026 and beyond. And who better to guide us through this orientation than our CEO, Matthew White. Hi, Matthew.
Hello. How are you?
Great to have you here with us. How are things on your side?
Very good, thank you. I'm particularly excited about what we're going to be sharing tonight. You know, all of our past sessions have been dealing with more macro environment issues, you know, around the world, economic macro issues. And tonight we're going to get to talk with our vision and sort of what our next 5 to 6 years is going to look like, right, with growth with ONUS. So I'm excited to be here. And I always appreciate sessions like this because for me, there's nothing more valuable than a direct conversation with our community. It's the best way for us to be transparent about where ONUS is heading, and more importantly, to listen to your questions, your concerns, and your expectations as we are taking this journey together. You know, we're here to listen and adapt and try to provide the best experience, platform experience that we can give our users. I truly believe that these conversations are what help us stay aligned and build something that lasts. So I'd like to share the orientation we're looking at for ONUS in 2026, not only in 2026, but for several years after that.
When you talk about this next phase of honors, what does that actually mean, and what are you most focused on right now?
Yeah, that's a good question because you know there's lots of different things that we could focus on, but step by step, we are shaping ONUS into a global financial hub, which is a unified financial infrastructure that works globally. I've always imagined a place where you don't have to juggle apps for different services. So we're exploring ways to bridge blockchain and traditional finance into one seamless experience. Then our users will have everything, investing, trading, and payments right at their fingertips in one seamless platform. This is a long-term journey, and it's the path ONUS has committed to over the next several years.
Oh, a global financial hub, that's a big ambition. Why did honor choose this part?
Well, several reasons, but on a very big picture level, it's the right way to approach platforms today. There's so many apps out there and so many different ways to utilize different resources that now it's become very cumbersome and tedious to be able to to switch from one app to another app, and you still get the job done, but the experience isn't so great. So primarily the three main reasons we have. First, the global finance is clearly converging. You know, you have crypto, stocks, derivatives, payments, real world assets, and DeFi are no longer separated. They're starting to blend together. And all these paths started out several years ago on separate, distinct paths. And now we see 2026 and going forward that these are all converging into one path. So we need to evolve as a platform alongside this convergence. Second, demand for simplicity. Users want something like one platform, all finance. And very few people enjoy managing multiple apps. I know I don't, and I'm sure you guys don't as well, just to handle basic financial needs. So ONUS aims to create a unified platform where users can access multiple financial services within one connected ecosystem. And third, which is absolutely probably the most critical part, is global compliance. You know, the future of fintech is about operating globally while following local laws. You know, almost every country has a different set of requirements and compliance, AML and know your customer requirements. And because of this, ONUS compliance is a core principle. That's why we're building a model that embraces this principle so we can scale sustainably in the long term. Because without it, you can grow very quickly, but if you don't build a strong foundation, then your growth will come to an abrupt halt sometime in the near future.
Yes, thank you. It's clear that changing the markets involving user expectation and growing complement requirement are creating a real change for financial platform today. So considering the growth factor, how has ONUS turned them into a clear direction for 2026?
Well, as I mentioned, just recently mentioned, to grow sustainably, I believe ONUS needs a direction that keeps us focused, but flexible enough to adapt to each market. If you remember back a couple of AMA sessions ago, we spoke about choosing a path and then staying light on your feet and being able to take advantage of new opportunities that approached as both technology and markets evolve. And we have to do the same thing as a service provider. That's why our development direction revolves around three core pillars: global core, local compliance, and universal access. And I'll talk a little bit about that. The first is global core, which is our shared infrastructure. So infrastructure isn't optional for us. It's the very foundation on which ONUS is built. We're focused on building a global core, including identity systems, wallets, risk management, and technology layers designed to operate at scale and meet international standards. Having a unified infrastructure allows ONUS to deliver stability, security, and scalability as we expand across different regions around the world. And this is critical. Again, the foundation, when you build a house, the foundation is the most important piece of the house, not the prettiest part, but the most important part. And also takes the longest to build, because the foundation has to be strong in order for the other things that are added on later to continue on and to stand up and stand the test of time. The second pillar is local compliance. Instead of using one single model everywhere, ONUS may establish local legal entities, get the right licenses, and design products tailored to the laws of each market. I believe compliance is the green light for sustainable growth. So, there was a saying a number of years ago where you would think globally and act locally. And this is really what we're doing. We understand the need for a global platform because our users will come from different parts of the world, and they each have to have a good experience on the platform, but it also has to meet all compliance issues and laws at each region's level. And the third pillar is universal access. In simple terms, it means having one account, one app for all legal markets that we're in. Currently, if you want to invest, trade, or make payments, you typically need several different apps: one for crypto, one for stocks, another for payments, and sometimes multiple accounts across various platforms. And this creates not a very smooth experience for the user. With ONUS, we aim to change this experience. For example, in the future, a user could start by trading digital assets, then invest in gold, manage their wealth, or make international payments, all within a single ONUS account on one platform. What matters is that all these services are built on the same infrastructure, the same backbone, adhering to the same security standards and local regulatory compliance. And just to be clear, universal access is not about one platform for every place, but about a consistent experience tailored to each region's regulations. Again, what will happen is if you're trading in Europe or you're trading in Asia, a user comes on, and from the front end, when the user is using the platform, they will have a seamless experience. But behind that, we would have drilled down to have local compliance in every single jurisdiction that we're active in. So, but as a user, you can be assured that the experience will be similar, and that's our goal. That's what we want to do.
So at the high level, global core provide the foundation, local component ensures sustainability, and universal success being everything together for user. So with the three these pillars in the plate to truly become a global financial hub, what exactly the ONUS ecosystem look like, and what role do the different product groups play?
Yeah, It's not going to be a short trip. Okay, it's going to be, this will evolve over a number of years, and we'll start with the easier pieces first to get those in place, and then build upon those as we move forward. So to make this possible, ONUS is building toward a financial ecosystem with around 10 core product groups, covering everything from digital assets, derivatives, and Web3 to traditional finance and global payments. The 10 areas that I'll just go over with, and then don't worry, because we're going to go into detail later in the presentation. We have digital assets, we have perpetual DEX, which are on-chain derivatives, prediction markets, Web3 infrastructure, global securities, multi-asset derivatives, wealth and retirement solutions, real-world assets, RWA, global payments, and cross-border remittance.
So could you say more detail about 10 key products in Honor Finance ecosystem and how they fit together?
Sure. And I think this is important. And again, these are the overview that I'll give. There are a lot more details behind this, but generally, I'll go through each group one by one so everyone can get a clearer picture of our direction. So the first one I want to talk about, digital assets, have been the foundation of ONUS for a number of years. It's a centralized foundation where users trade and store assets like BTC and Ethereum, and of course, ONUS. This group will continue to be one of the core pillars of the ONUS ecosystem, especially because it offers fast execution, ease of use, strong liquidity, and accessibility for a broad range of users. So this will continue to be our main core, and as we move forward, that will also be enhanced with faster execution, better reporting, and so on. And as technology advances, so will this platform, the digital assets. Number two is called PERP DEX, PERP DEX, on-chain derivatives. Along CeFi, ONUS is expanding into on-chain derivatives through PERP DEX. Well, CeFi is about ease of use. Our PERP DEX is for those who want full transparency. It's a decentralized platform for perpetual futures built fully on blockchain, which is incredible, allowing traders to open long or short positions without a custodial intermediary. And the PERP DEX offers high transparency through on-chain data, user control over assets, and Oracle secured pricing mechanisms. Core products include on-chain perpetual futures, non-custodial margin, liquidity pools, and Oracle-based pricing. And this will be a very big tool to be able to use. And the good thing will be speed, and the lack of having to go through multiple channels to try to put on your positions. Number three is the prediction market. You think of it as investing in outcomes. It allows users to speculate on future events, whether they are financial, economic, or global trends. By combining DeFi liquidity with decentralized oracles to verify results, we're creating a space where data, market sentiment, and finance meet in a very transparent way. So this will be an interesting, and it will come later on in our development, but we're thinking that this will allow you to plug in certain events on a macro level, and see the impact it would have to your trading strategy, which I think would be really helpful, because today, it's very difficult to, you look at what's happening in the Middle East, you look what's happening in South America, US, so on, Europe, and all these things are tied together, as we discussed earlier. But the issue is, what's the impact on me? So we take it from a global level, macro level, and bring it down to the local level, back down to the actual investor. Number four is Web3 layer, and it's the technical backbone of all of our future growth. Within the ONUS ecosystem, this layer includes non-custodial wallets, a DApp browser, NFT and DeFi gateways, and ONUS chain integration. The Web3 layer acts as the underlying infrastructure that enables users to interact with decentralized applications while staying connected to the broader ONUS ecosystem. So you don't have to leave one system and to do your activity. You can stay within the same ecosystem and switch back when needed. Number 5, global securities, which are the bridge between traditional finance and digital infrastructure. We're talking about tokenizing global securities, such as stocks, ETFs, bonds, and bringing them into the blockchain, enabling cross-border access while remaining compliant with regulations. Today, one of the biggest barriers to cross-border access are the local regulations from one place to the other. So on our platform, we would have already addressed those issues so that the user can easily switch and do cross-border transactions. Products in this group include global equities, ETFs, fixed income instruments, deposits or certificates of deposit, fractional investing, and even AI managed portfolios, which is a big trend that we're seeing now. Number 6 is multi-asset derivatives, which allow you to gain exposure to price movements in multiple asset classes, not just crypto, but also indices, commodities, forex, and synthetic structures. In simple terms, instead of trading a single asset, users can hedge risk during volatile markets, diversify exposure across multiple markets, use capital more efficiently without directly owning every underlying asset. If ONUS is to become a global financial hub, we need to provide not only trading tools, but also risk management and multi-market allocation tools. And this group plays a key role in that. And so you'll be able to take, and basically it's like doing a trade in 3 dimensions, right? 4D actually, and completely surrounding, covering all, using all the available resources to you to maximize your return and minimize your risk. Number 7 is wealth and retirement. Now, most of you, I'm sure, are at the age where you're not really thinking about wealth and retirement. I am. I'm not retirement, but certainly trying to manage my wealth. And we're building this for users who want to build and manage assets over the long term, not just trade short-term movements. Our goal is to help users invest consistently, manage portfolios aligned with their personal goals, and prepare financially for long-term plans, including retirement. Through tools like long-term portfolios, auto-invest features, and global allocation models, users can grow wealth over time without needing to track markets daily. Now, of course, part of that is you can still trade and you can sweep some of your account to stick into your more long-term investing for your retirement, which will be different. So you may have 2 portfolios. One's a trading portfolio on there, and the other is a long-term investment portfolio, when we're talking, maybe over 3, 4, 5, 10 years. Number 8, real-world assets. RWA acts as a key link between real-world assets and digital finance, giving access to assets such as gold, tokenized commodities, bonds, and real estate. And tokenization improves accessibility, enables fractional ownership, increases flexibility while following local regulations. Well-known examples include tokenized gold products like XAUT and PAXG, which bring stability and real-world value to a digital portfolio. Number 9, global payments. A global financial hub is where your money actually works in daily life, not just about investing. So our global payments infrastructure allows users and businesses to store, convert, and pay in multiple currencies, from daily spending to merchant and business payments. In the long run, our goal is to grow global payments into a fully integrated payment layer, allowing seamless movement between investing, asset storage, and real-world spending, all within a compliant framework. And remember, these are goals, and we have a journey to get there. We don't have these products in our portfolio yet, but we have the ability to develop them and test them and compliance and be compliant with all the local laws. Number 10 is cross-border remittance. And cross-border remittance focuses on meeting users' needs for fast, secure, and reliable international money transfers. In the beginning, this means making international transfers simpler and more efficient. Over time, it will grow into a broader cross-border financial layer closely integrated with global payments. ONUS accounts and the rest of the ecosystem making global transfers simpler and more sustainable for both individuals and businesses. So the idea is to, that cross-border remittance and global payments are tightly controlled. You have, personal needs to move money, and then you have business needs. So the goal is to develop those and then to make them so they're synergistic with one another.
Thanks for your sharing, Matthew. What stands out from the 10 product is how they form a connected ecosystem from investing and risk management to real-world use and global money flow. This clearly reflects ONUR's vision becoming a global financial hub, not just for trading, but for entire financial journeys of users. With that, let's move into the Q&A session and take questions from our community. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Yes. For question 1, is ONUR changing its core business model?
This is a really good question because, change inevitably, most people don't like change because they're very happy with the way things are now. And anytime change happens, people get fearful of change because they say, well, everything's good now, but what if it gets worse? We're not changing who we are. ONUS is still the same platform that you've used over the last several years, and that's going to evolve and get even better. We're expanding our development direction, evolving from just a digital asset platform into a more comprehensive financial platform. So what this means basically is that we still have our core, and we're adding additional tools that will only make your experience better and much simpler and easier. So no, we're not changing our core business model at all. We're just expanding upon what has worked so far.
So ONUR is building on existing trend rather than moving away from them. Is an important clarification for our community. And for question 2, when will ONUR become a global financial hub? Can you tell us?
Yeah, well, I'm still waiting. I always, when will I be grown up? Is a question. So never. I'm always trying to be grown up. I'm trying to reach that level. So this isn't something that you turn a light switch on or off. It doesn't work like that. It's something you build over time, and we lay out a plan, a sort of a map, a path that we're going to take. And along that, there'll be some changes. There'll be new technology. There'll be new markets, that sort of thing. And we're building it layer by layer, starting with infrastructure and products, then legal and AI. It's a gradual evolution. So, and I believe a definition of a global financial hub should be someone or a group who is constantly trying to add new tools. So in essence, you could say, we're looking for new evolution, and therefore we are a global financial hub because we're trying to answer global needs, not just domestic needs.
I know this is a long-term journey, not an overnight change. So let's move to question 3. Which product are coming first?
Well, these are the 2 products that we're going to try to bring first. Our priority list starts with global payments, followed by advanced digital assets, then securities, perpetual DEX, and real-world assets, wealth solutions, and cross-border transfers will follow. So, the initial pieces we can move fairly quickly on are the global payments and the cross-border remittances and so on. And as we build that out, the others will be added in. So, and we'll be along this journey. We'll be keeping you updated on our progress. And you'll also see it obviously on the app and on the platform. And then as we move along, we can update these sort of priorities.
Thanks for your answer. That gives us a clear picture what to expect first and how the ecosystem will be rolled out step by step. And for the next question, is Honor applying for global licensee?
Global licenses. That's also an interesting question because you know that's almost impossible today to have what is called a global license. Our ONUS follows a global core, local compliance model, setting up legal entities and securing licenses in each specific region we enter. This is a long-term and really the only sustainable approach. So no, we're not applying for global licenses. We're working with each area that we're expanding into, and we will build the foundation in those areas by working from the ground up and from the bottom up rather than from the top down. But the user, again, as we build that, a user, once we have it out there and it's active, a user in Asia will have a very similar experience, if not exactly the same experience as a user in Europe or Asia or some other part of the world that we've expanded into. So we have to do that, but we have to go into each region and as we expand, build these things out and work with the local regulators to ensure that regulation that we're compliant, because without this, all the growth won't matter at all.
Thanks for your answer. And we move to the last question. Is Honor still focused on crypto?
Absolutely. Crypto remains one of our core pillars. What we're doing is expanding around it to build more complete financial ecosystem for users. Again, as I spoke earlier about that, change is a scary thing, and we don't look at this so much as change, but as evolution. And as we evolve, we will develop the best technology that's available at the time and apply it to the greatest needs on a global basis, all while we are staying compliant. So yes, crypto is still focused or ONUS is still focused on crypto, and it is still one of our core pillars.
Thank you, Matthew, for sharing about Honor's long-term orientation for 2026 and beyond. Before we end the talk show, do you have any message for Honor community?
Yeah, I just want to thank our community for taking the time today to join us. And without the community, we need your feedback. We need your opinions, and so that we can keep on developing and providing the best products and the best experience for you. What we shared tonight is not short-term hype. It's a long-term development direction that we're building step by step. The old saying that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one small step. And we've taken more than one small step, but we're building upon that to be able to make sure that over time we can reach all these goals that we've set up. Becoming a global financial hub won't happen overnight, but with clear direction, strong foundations, and the continued support of the community, we believe ONUS can grow in a very sustainable way. And sustainable growth is the only growth that matters. Because if you build a house too quickly, and it's a beautiful house, but your foundation wasn't built well, and then 2 years later the whole house falls down, it doesn't really help our users. So we want to make sure that we don't want to take one step forward and 2 steps backwards. So we want to make each step that we make a forward step, and over time, all those steps will add up to a very powerful global financial hub. And that will translate directly to a much better user experience and to our user base around the world. And we truly appreciate your questions, feedback, and expectations. They're what push us to keep improving every day. And thank you for your trust and for being part of the ONUS journey.
Thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you again in our next talk show. Have a great night.
Thank
Goodbye.
you. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.